Last Tuesday, Apple announced a few tricks they had up their sleeve, and although they almost kept everything quiet for the majority of the time, the last minute leaks spilled everything. But it was not until the event that we confirmed everything. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Danny, your friendly tech amigo. I don't know about you guys, but me, from a consumer standpoint, like a regular consumer standpoint, two things always obviously popped out. iPhone SE and iPad Air 5. Now, is this iPad Air 5 with the M1 chip the new iPad Pro killer? Something's kind of iffy here. I don't know if it rang a bell to you guys, but the iPad 4th generation was announced in 2020 with the A14 chip. The year after, the iPad mini was announced with the A15 chip. Now is that starting to ring a bell? And now, the iPad Air is just all out with the M1 chip. Why? I can only imagine what Apple has in store for the new or the next iPad Pro model, but we won't get into it. But there are a few reasons why people might think that the iPad Air is the iPad Pro killer, but it's not so easy. It's not. If we take a look at the specs, even though the iPad Air does have the M1 chip inside, it's simply not going to be used to its full potential. I mean, we're talking about a chip that could power a 13-inch MacBook Pro. Why would they put that in an iPad Air? Now let's start from the top. The display, iPad Pro 12-inch, XDR, ProMotion, True Tone. 11-inch, ProMotion, True Tone. iPad Air 5th generation only has True Tone. It's a liquid retina display. It doesn't have ProMotion. It doesn't have XDR. It's a regular, not so pro display. Even though the resolution is pretty close at 2360 by 1640 compared to the iPad Pro base model, which is 2388 by 1668, and they both have the same 264 pixels per inch, that's kind of fascinating how they put that into the iPad Air. Does that mean you're going to get HDR content? No, it's not the XDR display. You're not going to get that HDR content. You're going to get the normal liquid retina display. Even my iPhone 12 Pro has a better display. Front cameras, they both have the ultra wide camera, but the most important thing there is the center stage. Now with the iPad Air having center stage, that means all iPads have center stage. I can't wait to test it out. Now as for the back cameras, obviously the iPad Pro takes the W there because it has the ultra wide and the wide 12 megapixel cameras, and then it even has the LiDAR sensor. A lot of people like me and you, we don't really use none of that. We don't use the LiDAR sensor. We don't use the cameras on the iPads, but there are some pro users that use it to do 3D modeling. They do a sketch of their house, or they do a sketch of their room to try to see what furniture fits in there and what size of furniture fits in there. That's what the LiDAR sensor is mostly used for. People like me and you, we just go to IKEA and get something, and hopefully it fits where we want it to fit. But both models of the iPad Pros and the iPad Air 5th generation, they all have 5G support, Pencil 2 support, Magic Keyboard support, and they all run like 10 hours of battery life when you're surfing the web or when you're watching a video on Wi-Fi. That's pretty dope. I think that's a lot of the M1 chip that has, those power efficiency cores. I think that's where that comes into play. Now, both iPads are great tablets. Don't get it twisted. They're both awesome. But I think the next family iPad will be the new iPad Air, because we're not really that big of pros, like I mentioned in my last video. The one that we have now is the iPad 2nd generation. So we are a little far behind, but I do not like to jump from one year to the next. I don't like to do that. One, price, and two, you don't really see much difference. When you go from like 2 or 3 years and then you make the leap, that's when you see the biggest difference. You get that young kid on Christmas Day opening gifts feeling for a longer period of time. I'll explain in other videos. But that was it for me. What did you guys like about the event? That's one thing that popped up. Obviously, I am going to talk about the M1 Ultra. That is crazy. But in Mexico, like when you get it topped out, it's like 200,000. It's like $10,000. They tax us down here. Leave your comments down below. Subscribe, hit the like, hit the bell. You already know what to do. I'm Danny, your friendly tech amigo. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.